All right, so today is the the 7th of May 2025. Good morning, Mr. Michael Oke, Madam Monaji, and every other person on board. So it's another trading day, it's another opportunity to make money from the market. Today there are a few events, available in the market today. In the course of the night, there was the RBNZ Governor Oski's speech. RBNZ stands for Reserve Bank of New Zealand. That was 2 a.m. And 9:30 a.m. this morning, there will be the construction PMI from the United Kingdom, and that's the only trading event, for this morning. And to conclude this London session. And the next event will be 7 p.m. later, much more later today, and that will be the FOMC. That's the Federal Funds Rate FOMC statement. That will come out by 7 p.m. Then by 7:30 p.m. we'll have the FOMC press conference. So basically, the tradable event for today's session is the construction PMI from the United Kingdom. Then later in the day, we'll have the FOMC. So I'll be looking more at just the GBP news, which is coming up by 9 a.m., just roughly less than 2 hours from now. And it's a medium impact event, so we may not have so much volatility, except if other fundamental factors will trigger, a big move in the market. So this news measures the level of a diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers in the construction industry. An actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So it means that by 9 a.m. this morning, if the data comes out, the forecast in this instance is just a second. All right, so the forecast is 46.0. That's this figure here. So if by 9 o'clock the data released, the actual comes out greater. If the actual comes out greater than the forecast, sorry, I think my annotation tool is kind of hanging. Just give me a second. Yes, apologies for that little break. I've been able to resolve the issue. So like I said, the data here, the forecast is 46.0. If by 9 a.m. this morning the actual comes out greater, then the color will be in green, and that will lead to a bullish movement on the British pound, that's the GBP. And if the actual comes out less than the forecast on the other hand, that will lead to a bearish movement on the GBP pairs. But like I said, it's a medium impact event, so we don't really expect much volatility, except if other market factors, other fundamental factors, overrides the outcome of the data. And the reason why I said we don't expect much volatility is because it's a medium impact event. So I'm going to flip over to the chart. Let's see what to expect for this particular event. Now, there are two pairs I'm looking at for this event. I'm looking at the GBP USD and the GBP JPY. Now, I remember sharing with us yesterday during the afternoon analysis my outlook on these two instruments, and my outlook still remains the same and is actually playing out just like I mentioned it would yesterday. Okay, pardon me. I was supposed to show. All right. Okay, so this is GBP USD. Now, if you were part of the analysis yesterday afternoon, I told us that GBP/USD hit a resistance level, for last week, and not only that, closed as a rejection candle on the weekly time frame. So I said that technically we're looking for a bearish movement in the market this week. More so, last week candle also closed as a rejection candle. That's a red candle in the middle there. So technically we're looking for an opportunity to sell the GBP USD for this week. And if you flip down to the daily time frame, I remember telling us yesterday afternoon that price, was going to hit the resistance back and then drop from there, and that is really playing out very fast because price hit that resistance level last night. Not only that, I mentioned that I'm seeing the formation of a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, then we'll have the reversal. Though we also need to note that there is a neckline region here that price needs to break. So we're seeing the head and shoulder form on the daily time frame for GBP USD. So if by 9 a.m. this morning the news release comes out bad for the pound, then that may see to the gradual movement, of the GBP USD in the bearish direction to form the second shoulder of the head and shoulder pattern, which, until though the main move is when price breaks the neckline. That's when we will look at a bigger move in the market. But then from the current level here, if the news comes out bad for the pound, you may sell the GBP USD. At least price will target this support level here, and the movement is not a small one. It's close to, let's see, close to about 90 pips thereabouts. So that's not a bad one. It may not get there in 1 hour or 2 hours. It may be a slow movement because it's a medium impact event, but we are bearish on the GBP USD. So we have a long term view of a head and shoulder pattern, which will give us a bigger move in the market much later. But for now, if the news comes out bad for the GBP USD, you can go ahead and sell the GBP. So if the news comes out bad for the pound, you can go ahead and sell the GBP USD. And like I said, the other pair I mentioned yesterday, which is a pound based pair, is the GBP JPY, where I also said it emphatically that I hold a bearish outlook, and my outlook still remains the same whether the news from the UK this morning comes out good or bad. Even for the GPUSD, it doesn't change the outlook I have for these two instruments. For GBP JPY, I said it will have a descending trend line over there on the weekly time frame, and I said it yesterday that I'm seeing the formation of a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and then we have the drop. So that outlook still remains the same. So if there's sufficient volatility to drive price downwards today to break the neckline region, which is the region here, then we may just be getting set for a bearish movement on the GBP JPY. So if the news by 9 o'clock comes out bad for the pound, well, we may see some slight movement downward also, and that can aid the eventual breakout that we anticipate. So both technically, fundamentally, we hold a bearish outlook on the GBP USD and the GBP JPY. So those are just the pairs I want you to focus on for the news by 9 a.m. this morning. Now there are other pairs which I'm going to show us right now, and that they are all the AUD. There seems to be a lot of strength on the Australian dollar, a lot of strength on the Australian dollar, and I'll also show us gold. I think I should start with gold. I should start with gold, then I'll show us the AUD pairs. Now, gold made a new high yesterday, but then late in the night, there was a drop. And why did the drop happen? Price hit a resistance level on the daily time frame. And if you flip down to the 1 hour, technically this is what I'm seeing on 1 hour. I'm seeing the formation of a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder. We might be getting ready for a bearish movement on gold in the course of today, especially maybe later in the evening when the data from the United States will be released for the FOMC. FOMC talks about interest rates, and the committee in charge of it is called the Federal Open Market Committee. So with the head and shoulder in place, we may be expecting a bearish breakout on gold. So if you're there, you're a gold trader, you love trading gold, just watch out for a breakout below the neckline region, before you take a sell on gold in the course of today. And please, confirmation as usual, RSI should be clearly below 50 at the point you want to take a bearish trade on gold. This one is an update. I remember yesterday when I was doing the analysis on BTC USD, I remember telling us clearly that BTC USD was actually in a fix between selling and buying, that a breakout below this resistance turn support zone will see us have a bigger bearish movement, and if it breaks out above, it means we're going to see a buy. But I said I favored more of the buy because I saw the formation of an inverse head and shoulder, on 1 hour. Now later on, the pattern really evolved beyond an inverse head and shoulder to something like a triple bottom pattern, and from there we can see that price actually made its way back up to the resistance at the daily time frame, which was quite a massive one. If you took advantage of that, though I remember clearly also telling us that our entry will be whenever price breaks out below this, I'm sorry, breaks out above this neckline region. And that's why I always say you should pay a lot more attention to the setup that we share during this analysis session. We can tell you we have a high level of probability. Thank you, L Smart. L Smart said I took the BTC. That's a very value. You are smart, just like your name is. You see, winning in forex is not difficult. If you follow Uno road, you make the money, you make the profit. But we'll give you analysis. Just make sure those are the peers you are looking at that point in time, because I mean we take our time to carefully select these pairs and analyze it professionally, using price action, top down analysis, and other ways of analyzing the markets to come out with, what we'll post for you so that you can be guided. That's a good one. Elsman said, woke up to see $107. This is massive. Do you know what $107 is in Nigeria today? That is over one. That should be well over, close to about 170,000 naira. That's what somebody, but some people are not even earning over 100K in a month. Somebody just earn that kind of money overnight based on the setup that we gave yesterday. Don't miss these opportunities. Don't miss these opportunities. With PU Prime is all about you winning. That's the truth. We are all about you winning. We give you our education. We come online every day, guiding you, giving you tips, insights into how to trade and to make money for yourself. So this is a place to be. Elsmart, I'm happy for you. Keep winning. And please, you can go ahead and post in your WhatsApp group. If I want you to do that, just go to your WhatsApp group and post this testimonial. Post the screenshot. Mention it there that you took the setup from the analysis we did yesterday and it earned you $107. So this testimonial means a lot to us as a brand. Bamidele, you are the one. Oh yeah, go ahead now. Go and post. Go and post. Go ahead. Go and post. That's a good one, Bamidele. I'm telling you, you can see that what we do here really, really works. Bamidele has been with us since if I'm right, that should be like 2023 thereabouts. Yeah, I mean, it's been with PU Prime Trading. I think it's even a partner. So if this is not working, it will not stick with us for this long. 2023 exactly. So you can see what we do works. It works. It works. So Bamdeli, go ahead, go to your WhatsApp group. Share the testimonial. Let people know that what we do here really, really works. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on from that. I'm really, really happy. People will say, "Oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that." Hey, if you're with the winning team, you make money. Let me just take a screenshot of this. So if you're on the platform this morning, you don't have an account with PU Prime, then you're really, really missing out. You're missing out. You're missing out. $107 will do a lot for a lot of people at this point, in Nigeria. It's going to do a lot. So stop sitting on the fence. Stop sitting on the fence. Stop sitting on the fence. And if you're there, you make profit today, you lose it tomorrow. no problem. Just stick with what we give and you will just be fine. Stick with our analysis. I remember there was a time this Mbam Daily shared a testimony how he used my weekly outlook, to multiply his account 5 times within a week. This guy's been making money with PE Prime. So I'm not too surprised if he was able to make $100 just, overnight like that. All right, let's move on. So we saw that Outlook paid out on the BTC USD. So like I said, I'm seeing a lot of strength on the AUD pairs. So you might trade the one that, sorry, a lot of weakness, pardon me, a lot of weakness on the AUD pairs, AUD CHF, AUD USD, AUD card, whichever one that catches your fancy out of all of them, you can trade in the course of today. Okay, I'm seeing some comments. Good morning. No, we don't ask for numbers, Japheth. Okay, from 20. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Tamdil is trying to re-emphasize that testimonial that time. It grew $20 to $221. That was in late 2023. And that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. Just following the same analysis that you're getting here. This is a gem. This is golden. It may look simple. Like I always tell people, my job is to make the complex simple. Just follow the lead and you make money. I can tell you that. All right, so we'll look at the AUD pairs. Like I mentioned, we're seeing a lot of weakness, on the AUD pairs. You can pick any one of these three I'm going to mention to you in the course of today. Now, this is the AUD card, and we can see that price currently is trading around a previous support turned resistance on the weekly time frame. Previous support turned resistance on the weekly time frame, and that's on the weekly time frame. Okay, even daily is still valid on the daily. This is actually the daily, and is still valid on the weekly. Then let's check the 4 hour. Okay. Oh, okay. This is the 4 hour version of it. Now the 4 hour version, so this could be swing. So if you're there, a swing trader, this can be one you can watch out for. On the swing side, on the 4 hour side, this is a shoulder, this is a head, this is a second shoulder, and we are anticipating a bearish breakout on AUD card. Don't forget, this is actually a rejection candle, which is equally an insight that we should expect a bearish breakout. At the point of the breakout, confirm that your RSI is clearly below 50, and you can trigger a sell on the GAUD card, or preferably you might wait for a price to get to this level. You may put maybe a sell stop order around the tip of the shadow here, so that when price breaks out, it triggers you and moves your trade downwards. So I'm bearish on the AUD card on 4 hour. That's for swing traders, and for that's for AUD card. For AUD CHF, it's still the same thing. Is that same support on weekly resistance, support on resistance zone. You can see it's across board for the AUD pairs. The same thing here. We have a support on resistance on the weekly. On the daily time frame, it's showing us a rejection candle at the moment. If you take it down to 4 hour, uh, we're not really getting more. But if you come down to 1 hour here now, you can see we are seeing already some form of reversal. So we'll draw a trend line here and draw a second one right here. And from my view, price might want to do a head and shoulder drop, go back up, then finally give its a drop. But either way it goes, either it forms all these patterns or not. What we're looking out for is a breakout downwards, and that can trigger us into a sell on the AUDCHF. So both AUD card, AUDCHF, there appears to watch in the course of today. The AUD card actually will be preferable on 4 hour, while the AUDCHF you can trade that on 1 hour. We're bearish on both of them. All right, I'm going to end the analysis here. I think I wouldn't want to repeat the other pairs because for the other AED pairs too, they may react, but let's just stick with these two. Okay, so this morning, let me just do a little recap. I've given us my outlook on the GBP USD and GBP JPY, and I'm bearish on both of them for the news we are anticipating. And even beyond the news on technicals, we have like a long-term bearish, outlook on both the GBP USD and the GBP JPY. And I said I'm bearish on gold. I'm bearish on gold on 1 hour. I'm also bearish on the AUD and the AUD card. I also gave us an update on the BTC USD trade setup, which I showed yesterday, and someone was able to make over $100 overnight. You imagine what it is. Just woke up this morning and you saw $100 in your account. That's a good one. All right, so we're going to be ending here. If you have a question, just or you want a specific pair, just drop it as we begin to round up. Okay, Adiko Ishegun is saying I should check GBP. I believe you mean GBP CHF. Adiko Ishegun, can you be specific? I'm saying GBP AUF. We don't have that. What I know we have is GBP CHF. So I want you to confirm that's what uh you mean. Okay, GBP AUD. For the GBP AUD, like I said, it's still a derivative of the AUD pair. I didn't want to repeat the AUD, but since you asked, I have my outlook. I think I have a bullish outlook on that one. All right, for GBP AUD, now since the AUD USD and the AUD card are bearish, then the GBP AUD will definitely be bullish. All right, so we can see there is a support zone between this region and this region here. This is the daily time frame. 4 hour. On the 4 hour, it's forming like a double bottom pattern is forming on the 4 hour. That still gives us insight into a bullish outlook. But the important one we need is actually the 1 hour. Now, this is my view on the 1 hour. I'm seeing an inverse head and shoulder. Price may come out a little to form the second shoulder before we have the eventual breakout. So this is what I would advise you do. It's not yet time to buy. Wait, let price come down and go back up to break this neckline upwards, and you can target this level, this resistance as a take profit, and that could give you a profit in the range of close to 90 pips. All right, so we have a bullish one there on the GBP AUD. Oil, okay. Bamidele is asking about oil. All right. Now on the weekly time, okay, this is the daily, not weekly. On the daily time frame, let's even go to weekly. That gives me a bit clearer picture. Okay, let's fall back to daily. On the daily time frame, we have price hitting the support zone there. On the big picture, this will give us a double bottom pattern. On the very big picture, that's long term. But currently, if you flip down to 4 hour, there was a gap. There was a gap here. Okay, two things could happen at this point where price is. Price is back to a previous J resistance level, this zone here. All right. So if price breaks out above this level, then we'll see a bullish movement. Otherwise, it may either sell or break out. We may either see some reversal here. Maybe this might come to form some inverse head and shoulder for the bigger break. That's a possibility. So we may see a sell, which in the short term might just be enough to catch, a lot of pips, or price may outrightly break out from here, retest, and now continue. So those are the two scenarios. Either an actual breakout and retest and continuation, or a reversal from this point. So it's a critical point where price could either buy or sell. So you need to cautiously wait and see what price is doing. This is 1 hour. Let's go down to 15 minutes. It's not clear at the moment. So just this is where patience lies. Be patient and see the next move. If it breaks out, then wait for a retest. Possibly wait for some candlestick or chart pattern around this area, then trigger a buy. Or otherwise, if it's going to sell, then if it's going to be a sell, then you need to draw a trend line right here. Second one there, and wait for price to break out below the lower trend line with RSI clearly below 50. All right, so that's my view on the US oil. Okay, this will be the last one, DJ30 from Benedicta. You're welcome. That's for Bamidele. Now, there's been a lot of instability around DJ30 for quite some time now. But then let's see if there's any possibility of a setup on this instrument today. Agushola Clement, we are bearish on gold. Okay, I'm not seeing any uh stuff on the bigger time frame, but this is what I can see on the 4 hour. I'm seeing a rising wedge, and it's not a clear one, but this might give us a head and shoulder that might lead to a breakout, all things being equal. Okay, let's go down to 1 hour. It's not really clear, to be honest. It's not okay. Let me go back to the daily and see if I can draw a trend line. Okay. Right. So we have that's a support, a resistance to support on the daily time frame. Okay, I think it's better now. All right, so we have a resistance to support on the daily time frame, and this is actually an inverse head and shoulder. So price may trigger up. So if that happens, this will be my view. You can put a buy stop order at the tip of the candle here and target this region here as a take profit level. So let's watch out as this plays out in the course of today. I'm bullish on the DJ30, and that's uh for Benedicta. For Benedicta, put a buy stop on the recent high and let's see how price triggers up. RSI should, if it's a bullish setup, I mean, as in if the volatility enters into it, then we will see our RSI gradually move above 50. It's currently at 47. It should move above 50 with that inverse head and shoulder, which I'm seeing on the 1 hour. This is an inverse head and shoulder pattern. Then that will trigger the entry and be able to drive it to the take profit with the recent high up there. All right, so you're welcome, Benedicta. That's going to be all for this analysis session this morning. Don't forget to join us by 1:30 p.m. for the, sorry, 12:30 p.m. for the afternoon analysis session. And if this looks complex to you, maybe you are new to trading, it's not a problem. I mean, we too didn't start out this way. So I want to encourage you to join our physical training session at our two offices, Abuja and Lagos office. We had a training yesterday, Tuesday. We have training 2 days in a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we had a training session yesterday. There will be another training session tomorrow. So make yourself available at these two locations. PU Prime Africa, 50 Abitu Okiwe Street. That's a Walk and Connect building. 50 Abitu Okiwe Street, Jabi in Abuja. That's our Abuja address. And Lagos address is at Agos Executive Lounge at 54B Adeniyi Jones Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos. So make yourself available at these two offices, for training on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. The time for the Abuja training is 10:30 a.m. and the Lagos is 11 a.m. Hope to see you then. All right, take care and bye, and have a great day ahead. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rotimi.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
so
You're
much
welcome,
for your
sir. Yeah.